Hi, everybody. It's great to be here today. I always look forward to these calls. It's besides the fact that I got some really cool content for you, we always get such great questions. So that's just a reminder to start feeding questions into the chat box, because the earlier you get in, the better chance you have that I get to your question, because we always run out of time. But thanks for joining us. We got a big crowd today. Excited about that. And as Jesse and I were trying to think about what would be the next good topic a few months ago after we closed out the last session. And if you haven't watched the past ones, be sure to do that. You know, this content is different each quarter, so go back and watch those. I encourage you to do that. But we were chatting about what I was spending my time on, and I spend a lot of time working with individuals these days, one-on-one in a virtual consultation mode. And we'll talk more about that later. But I was trying to come up with, like, what are the things that I'm running into a lot? You know, what are the consistent issues and mistakes that people are making on LinkedIn? And so I picked the number 10. I probably could have had a few more, but I came up with the big 10, let's call it. The big 10 of the things that people are not doing right on LinkedIn. And just to set in some context, so I've done over 700 one-on-one consultations over the last 3 years. And so it isn't just Wayne Breitbart thinks this. It's because as I'm dealing with people one-on-one, I'm finding these holes or these inefficiencies or these mistakes or these gaps in activities and stuff on LinkedIn. So that's the context of my 10 mistakes. But let me just define the word mistake so we don't get messed up a little bit on that. And really, in this framing is the mistake. What I mean by that is reasons you may not be seeing the results you want from your LinkedIn experience, okay? Reasons you may not be seeing the results you want from your LinkedIn experience and activities. Because unlike 10 or 12 years ago, when I started teaching LinkedIn, everybody was new. We were all grappling around with what to do with the crazy thing. And we now have proven best practices that are taking place. And we also have this. We also have more experience about who we want to meet. And that's going to lead into some of the very early mistakes here about our target audience. So let's get rolling, because we're going to go through the 10. I'll go through the 10 right away, and then I'll go into each one separately. And by the way, you'll get everything in a replay email, including these slides will be part of the video. So you don't have to write to us, ask that question, are you going to get a recording? You will get a recording link. And so the 10 things that I want to cover today, some of them in much more detail, including some worksheets. So don't miss that. There's going to be some worksheets relating to a few of these 10 points that will be included in the follow-up email. And so you don't have to write about that too. You'll get the emails. So the first three relate to your LinkedIn profile. And I want you to think about that as I talk, think about almost giving yourself a report card, right? And say, give yourself a yes or no or 1 to 10 or something on how you're doing on these things, and try to be critical, try to be very objective. And the first one is you're not clear on what you're trying to accomplish and who you want to meet more of. Okay, so why are you on LinkedIn? What are you trying to accomplish with LinkedIn? And then who are the types of people that you'd like to meet more of? That's the first one. The second one is you haven't keyword optimized your profile. I mean, LinkedIn is a search engine after all, and it requires us to understand how the search algorithm works. And there's definitely a strategy behind where you put the words, okay, on your profile, that it works better in certain spots, and we'll get into that. The third one is you're missing one or more clearly stated calls to action, because the profile view alone is not going to take you to the promised land. The profile view alone is simply the beginning to hopefully a next step, and I call those calls to action. And so we'll get into those in detail. Okay, number 4 is the first. I have 3 now relating to your LinkedIn network. And number 4 is you don't have enough people in your target audience in your network. And when I say in your network, by the way, I mean first degree connections. Okay, sometimes LinkedIn refers to network as the first, second, third degree. In this context, I'm speaking of people you've already connected with. You don't have enough of those. Number 2 in the LinkedIn network section is you don't know how to search and effectively connect with your target audience. In other words, you don't know the search tools on LinkedIn, and there are so many. And when you do those searches, you don't know what to do with them. You don't know the right etiquette or the right approach to increase the chances that you're going to get connected to these folks. And number 3 in the network section is you have no nurturing plan for your target audience. And that's one of the points I'm going to get into in a lot of detail is that one. No nurturing plan for your target audience. So be sure to be scoring yourself critically. I think, to come here and listen to me think about all these things and then you don't really get critical about, yeah, I don't think I'm doing that, or I'm doing that just so. That's sort of come out of this with at least a plan that you're going to attack a few of these. And I'm going to tell you how to attack them. And some of them I'm going to give you the actual worksheet for the attack. And if you need a little bit more than help, that's what the consultations are for, which we've had lots of Patina Nation viewers of these past webcasts be involved in consultations where I dig into these in depth. Okay, the next section is about your LinkedIn activities or routines. And there's 4 items in there. So we came up with, that's the 10. The first one is you're not posting at least once a week. And we'll talk about posting best practices. And I mean, once a week is not magic. It's just getting into some kind of routine to realize that once you've built an audience of the right people, that posting can be an effective way to get those people to engage with you. Number 2 in the LinkedIn activities and routines is you're not diligently engaging with the ones that are interacting with your content. And there's a real great tool on LinkedIn, so don't miss this one. This one's a simple one to fix now that LinkedIn has given us this fairly new tool. The number 9 item and the third one in our activities section is you're not treating who's viewed your profile and your inbound invitations as store visits. And you'll find that, I think when I frame it as that and you catch this 9th point, I think you'll get it. I think you might start looking at these two features on LinkedIn, who's viewed your profile and your inbound invitations in a totally different way to realize that there's a lot of potential in that one. Okay, and the last one is you do not have a consistent routine that you're executing without fail. And I'll get into this a lot of depth, and I've got a great worksheet for you on this point. So, okay, so those are the 10 points. Let's be critical as we sort of roll through those. I'm going to now bring up my LinkedIn account. I got to grab share. Let's do that. Oh, am I already up on share? Mm-mm. Okay, so this will stop us sharing. Yep, okay, cool. All right. Okay, and now bring up my LinkedIn page. Okay, all right. Now, just a reminder to everybody, as Wayne Breitbarth always does, this is all free LinkedIn. Okay, everything we do today is going to be capable to be done on free LinkedIn. Now, there's always the caveat about searching, that if you try to do a lot of searches on LinkedIn, you'll run into the search limits potentially. And you may need to move, if you do a lot of searches, you may need to move to Business Premium or maybe Sales Navigator, one of those two. But if you space your searches out and do them once a month, you'll probably be okay. But everything I'm going to show you is capable of being done on free LinkedIn. You do not need a premium. Okay, the first one was you're not clear on what you're trying to accomplish and who you want to meet more of. And that really sort of boils back to your target audience. And I have a worksheet for target audience that I will include in the follow-up. Profiles are supposed to be written for a target audience. And yes, sometimes they should look like resumes because your target audience could be that you're looking for a new job. But many times you're on LinkedIn for general networking, professional development, career pacing, but not necessarily looking for a job or sell it. You're trying to grow your business, your consulting business. You're trying to grow your business, or you're a salesperson trying to do your day-to-day job of increasing leads for your company. Profiles should be written for target audience and the people you want to meet more of. Okay. Now, here's the test I would make on that point. When you say, wait, well, I don't know, is it clear? I would do this. I would ask somebody that you trust, that understands your business real well, okay? That understands what you're trying to accomplish on LinkedIn, okay? And ask them this question. Be kind, but be tough on me. If you read my profile for the first time and you understood who I was trying to meet more of, would my profile resonate with you? Would it sound encouraging and interesting and experienced enough that you would consider a phone call or a meeting with me about how we help people like yourself? That's a great way to test your profile. And if you got a friend or a client that would be willing to do that for you and be very critical, that's going to be a home run. You know, I critique profiles all the time and I try to get the framing behind doing that. But a client that already knows you and helps you, or a recruiter who already places people like yourself and knows the target audience, those would be people who could give you great feedback on whether it's clear. Okay, number 2 under the profile is that you haven't keyword optimized your profile. Okay, and there will be this worksheet that will be coming along with the thank you note and the replay. Okay, in a few days. This keyword worksheet is so important to you. And I'm going to point out a profile that you can look at in just a second that has great usage of the keyword optimization steps. And think about this, my friends. I know that some of you are going, well, I don't have to do that. Sounds really wonky, the stuff Wayne's talking about in this step. Yeah, it is. It is really wonky. But it's how all this digital stuff works. And if you don't optimize your profile for keywords and somebody else, let's say on this very call, who's competing you for the same position or for the same products and services, does this, guess what? You get beat, right? You're not the person that gets selected because you're on page whatever instead of page 1, 2, or 3 in a search. And so it's sort of like the rules of the game are this. And if you want to believe that they're not the rules, and guess what? You'll lose the game. Okay. So keywords have to be all over your profile and they got to be in the right spots. And the 3 spots that we know you really get a lot of extra pop and search ranking from is your headline and your job titles and your skill section. But notice they're good everywhere. You know, all these bullet points sort of detail where they could go. And I suggest that you check out Dale Wonder's profile. Dale's one of my clients. And the good news is Dale was a client during the job search and Dale is working now. So I'm pretty happy about that. And he does claim that a bunch of the stuff we did helped him get in that right space. So when you look at the 3 spots I just mentioned, look at his headline. Look at this headline. Is your headline, make it so clear what you're doing or trying to accomplish. And look at those keywords in there too, right? Now, a little twist on the headline, that's 220 characters. There's a little bonus thing going on currently that if you use the LinkedIn mobile app, you can get an extra 100 characters out of your headline. I can't promise that's going to be around forever, although it's been around for a few years now. But Dale's got maxed it out at the 220 characters. That's hotspot number 1. Hotspot number 2, and you'll be able to see this in all of Dale's past job entries. So look at what he's done with his job titles. He's expanded each of the job titles. Great technique on LinkedIn. Helps you move up in the searches, and the last hotspot is the keyword section. The skill section, excuse me. The skill section is the 3rd hotspot. They're good everywhere, especially good in those 3. Take time, spend time on that with using that worksheet, checking out Dale's profile for a good example. Okay, profile item number 3. What mistake is it? You're missing 1 or more clear calls to action. Okay, and I'm gonna shift gears away from sort of the job seeker space. And the call to action for a salesperson or somebody trying to grow their business is you've got to write your profile so it's interesting to them, of course, just like we talked about in the first step. But then ask for the business. Ask for the phone call. If you find this information interesting, you can contact me here and here, or go to my website and you can get this additional information, or click below to sign up for my 15-minute complimentary investigative call. Take the reader from the profile to what they're supposed to do next. It's a marketing tool. Marketing tools are meant to have next steps, and we call those calls to action, and your profile should be treated the same way. Okay, so those are the 3 items I have for you in your profile. I'm going to now move into item number 4, which is the first one in your network, where I think the mistake that people are making as it relates to their network is this. They don't have enough people in their target audience. They just don't. They haven't thought that through. I mean, they connect with a lot of people from the neighborhood and people they work with and people they network with in general, but they're not sitting down and going through potential connections by sort of a category. And this worksheet will help you. It'll start to get you to think a little about outside the box. So an example is, let's say you're a CPA. Of course, CPA wants to find more business owners that will hire him for the accounting and tax work he does, of course. Well, who else would be a good connection? Referral sources. So that could be attorneys that also call on businesses and insurance agents that call on businesses. So think outside the box and start adding people to your target audience, maybe in some different segments other than, of course, my clients or my new clients. Okay, number 5, you don't know how to search and effectively connect with your target audience. Okay, there's lots of searching tools on LinkedIn. We do not have time to cover them all today. But when I get to the last thing today, I'm going to have a worksheet for you that's going to detail a bunch of the different search mechanisms on LinkedIn or different search features. You got to learn how to search well. I have a search queued up here, which leads me into my next point, which is you're not nurturing. You have no nurturing plan for your existing network. In other words, as you add people to your network, they're not just a bunch of baseball cards that you're going to shove in the closet and let get dusty. That's how a lot of people are looking at LinkedIn. And I know that because I ask the question when I'm doing the consults. I'll say, tell me about your network. What percent? You get 700 people in your network, let's say, and we're doing a consultation. I'll say, what percentage of your network are people that are in your target audience? Oh, at least half of them. I said, well, good. Great. That's pretty good. What do you do to nurture those folks? Nurture? Well, I post once in a while. What do you think of that? I said, well, that's a nurturing tool on LinkedIn. Is it the most effective one? No, it's not the most effective one. Why? Because posting is subject to the algorithm. And I do have posting down as one of the things that you're not doing in the next section here. But the most important and effective nurturing tool is after you do a search, and I'll just show you my filters for this search. This is first degree people, and that's what I want you to do. That's the nurture part. The nurture part is you want to be nurturing your first degree. And this is a real live example. I'm going to Columbus later this month for an event, and I wanted to see who else I should try to see if I should get together with, maybe email them ahead of time and say, I'm going to be in Columbus already. Would love to meet with you. So it's people in my network, first degree, Columbus, Ohio. And then I really wanted to find the business, the top person in the organization. And I used, of course, Boolean search logic with the ORs, capitalized. See, that's what I mean about knowing what to do on the searching. A lot of people go, well, I can search president. I can put that in the box, Wayne. Well, great. But do you know how to write yourself a nice OR string? Okay. So that you pick up the people you really want, not just the presidents, but the CEOs, the owners, the founders. Okay. That's doing a search effectively. And once you do that search effectively, then what do you do? Well, okay. So I did that. That's what I'm looking for. And if I hit the apply button, LinkedIn will give me this lovely list. And in my case, it's 97 people that I now can nurture. What does that mean? That means look at the message button here. Hello. That's your opportunity, my friends. The fact that the message button's waiting for you to send these folks some kind of message to nurture the relationship from either, hey, we connected several months ago, we never had a chance to get together, but this is going on, or here's an article, or here's an event that I'd like to invite you to. Or in my case, I'm going to go through these people's profiles and decide who I would send a direct message to invite them to either come to the event that I'm speaking in Columbus, or maybe do an event at their place, or have a side consultation, or in some case, just remind them of what I do and I'm coming to town, and that just reminds them what I do. It's a nurturing process. Oh, I see Wayne's going to be in Columbus doing a corporate event. That must mean he does corporate events, right? So now, do not message these folks once a week. That's too much. That's way too, that's going past nurturing to spamming. And that's where it gets a little tricky too, right? Like, where's the dividing line, Wayne? Well, it depends on the people. Okay. I don't know, but I can guess once a week's going to be too much. All right. I can guess once a quarter if it's something of value, that's not too much. Once a year is probably not enough if you want to try to get in front of these folks. So the direct messaging function after you've done a nice search is the nurturing I'm speaking of in this case. Okay, so speaking of nurturing, we're going to go on to number 7, which is about regular activities, where we talk about not posting at least once a week. Okay, the reason I like posting once a week is because your whatever you post will appear in some people's home feeds. Some people, notice I said there's an algorithm now. It doesn't get in everybody's home feed. That's a misunderstanding on LinkedIn these days. It gets into some people's feeds, and then LinkedIn sees how it does, and it'll decide whether it's going to go to more feeds. But it does appear on your profile. So anything you post, there's an activity box right on your profile showing any profile visitors you have, whether they're connected to you or not. They can see what it is you're posting and sharing, and they can engage. And that sort of starts the ball rolling. Of course, that's a nurturing step too, but not as direct as the one that I just mentioned. So try to think about posting once a week. I think that's a great strategy. Okay, so by the way, as we're sort of getting close to the bottom of the hour, we'll cover all the content, trust me. But questions are coming in. Love to see a few more. Jesse and I just made the decision that we're gonna go hard till about 12:30 with the content itself, and then I'm going to take about 10 minutes to do questions. So feel free to get your questions in here. There's still time to get yours in, and I will plan on going to about 40 minutes after the hour. So don't go away. The questions are always really great for all of us, me included. Okay, next one. You're not diligently engaging with those who are interacting with your content. Okay, on LinkedIn, here's the tool I was explaining. It works so well now. Just use the notification tab. Okay, the notification tab is a beautiful tool on LinkedIn. It wasn't around several years ago. It's here now. This allows you to engage with people with the stuff you're posting. It also gives you the birthdays and anniversary and those kinds of things. But this is the step that if you're starting to post at least once a week, you can start to see how other people are engaging in that content. And the miss I'm saying, the mistake that people are making is they're not coming in here when people are engaging with your stuff and thanking people, sharing a little bit more information, maybe even sharing a website with some more information, maybe asking, say, should we take this offline and have a phone call? Should we I'll send you a direct message about that question you had. These engagements are just that. People are starting the process. Notifications tab is our brand new tool to get that done. Not brand new, it's a couple years old, but most people still are not using it as a routine. Okay, number 9, you're not treating who's viewed your profile and inbound invitations as a store visit. So here, this is simple. It's as simple as this. Who's viewed your profile, the page that has all of your profile views, and you should be seeing the last 5 profile viewers, stalkers, but you only get to see the information that the stalker wanted, even if you're on premium. But the people that are looking at your profile, are you looking at them and considering either a connection request or a message? Like they walked into your store. So picture this, in my case, LinkedIn trainer, right? Somebody searches a whole bunch of LinkedIn trainers. They show up on a list. People look at a bunch of LinkedIn trainers' profiles to decide who they're going to call for a consultation or an event. They're walking in and out of stores like it's a great big strip mall of LinkedIn trainers. You're the same way, whatever it is that you're being searched for. People are walking into your store. Of course, you wouldn't let them walk in your store if they look like a buyer and just go, you'll sit in the corner and go, well, that's nice. Somebody just walked in. They might be a buyer. No, you'd come up and say, hi, welcome to my store. Can I help you? Okay. Not every not every person on this page is a buyer. I'm saying with the buyers, with the people whose profile says they might be buyers, you say, hi, how you doing? Can I help you? And if you do that in the form of the connection request, it's fine. If you do it in the form of the message because you're already connected, I don't really care. I just want you to engage with these folks who are walking in. Assume this, they're not looking at profiles just because they're so bored. I'm going to blow the rest of the afternoon looking at random profiles today. Nobody's that. Now, there will be spammers in here. Don't let the spammers get in the way. People are looking at your profiles like they're walking into your store. The second tool that works like that is your inbound invitations. And my suggestion is for on your inbound invitations is to treat them just like that store concept. And if somebody's interesting, don't just hit the accept button. Ask them if you can help them. Send a follow-up note after you accept. This is a home run feature, my friends. I add 45 people to my mailing list each and every week using this feature. Hear me loud and clear, those of you who are building mailing lists for your business. This feature will help you build your mailing list if done correctly. I ask for permission. I welcome them to my network and I say, hey, I'd love to help you with your LinkedIn going forward. Let's get started by you being on my weekly email list. Would you like to be part of that list? And people give me a thumbs back or yes or whatever, and they're on my list, okay? That's just a strategy. If you want to work through a strategy like that for yourself, that's where a consultation really comes in. Trust me. When I dig deep into your reason for being on LinkedIn, your target audience, I can think of techniques like this for you. Okay, so that's number 9, not treating who's viewed your profile and inbound invitations as if it's a store visit that requires you to say, hi, how you doing? Can I help you? Okay, and number 10 is you do not have a consistent routine and you're not sticking to it. Now I have a tool for that. You're going to love this tool. By the way, a client paid me big money to do this tool. You're getting it for free. My wife knew I was doing this. She'd be mad because I'm giving you some of my best content with this worksheet. We've never shared this worksheet on a Patina Nation broadcast before. It's wonderful. And here's what it is. It's basically how do you spend 1 hour a week on LinkedIn if you want to be proactive. And it's covering a bunch of the stuff we talked about here with these mistakes. Okay. So in 1 hour, broken down by these 5 categories, you do this as a routine. Trust me. And maybe it'll take you an hour and 15 minutes. Well, probably it's extra 15 minutes because things are working because you got to do more engagement because your posts are working so well. This tool will be wonderful for you, and it's going to be included in the follow-up. It's a PDF file. Go ahead, print it, hand it out to your whole sales team. I love that. No problem. It's yours. It's yours for the taking. But like I said, I had a client who paid me a significant amount of a consulting fee to do this exact worksheet for their sales team. So take advantage of it. It's got all the best stuff on LinkedIn. This could be your new routine. This worksheet could be the breakthrough. I hope and pray it is. I really do. Because I think this worksheet works. I've had enough people say, Wayne, that game plan is golden. I said, I know. It's got the best stuff on it, doesn't it? I got people who print this out every week and they don't go home Friday till they did this stuff. Okay. And should just take you an hour or so. Okay. So let's just to sort of go through in general, here are the points again. Number 1, your profile is not clear enough about what you're trying to accomplish and who you want to meet more of. You haven't keyword optimized your profile. You're missing one or more clear call to action. What do you want the reader of your profile to do next? As it relates to your network, you don't have enough people in your network that are in your target audience. Number 5, you don't know how to search and effectively connect with people in your network. And number 6, and the last one in the networking section is you don't have a nurturing plan for the people that are already in your network. As it relates to the activities and routines, and number 7 on the list of 10 is you're not posting at least once a week. Number 8 is you're not diligently engaging with the people that are already jumping in and looking at your content and doing things with it, either sharing, liking, or commenting. Number 9 is you're not treating who's viewed your profile and inbound invites as if it's a store visit to your store. I know you wouldn't ignore people. And number 10 is have a routine that you stick with. This game plan will work just great for that. Just great. Okay, that's a lot of information, and the follow-up is going to help you a ton. And before I get into the questions, I just want to encourage you. A consultation with me. We have a special feature here at Patina Nation for $250, and I've done a bunch of them already. It's been a blast working with everybody that signed up so far. For $250, you get a 1-hour consultation with me. It's virtual. We'll do it on Zoom, just like this platform. I record that for you. I don't do that with my regular clients, but the Patina Nation clients get a recording of the session. So you don't have to take notes quite as feverishly, and you can slow Wayne Breitbart down. Everybody likes that part because I go really fast, as you can tell. So I'm trying to cover so much good stuff for you in that hour. And then I will email you back when you tell me your profile's been changed with the critique that I've done. So I've done a full critique, right? You get it all marked up, red marker. You're going to hate me. I'm a tough teacher, by the way. And I will email you back my final blessing or my final suggestions through an email. And then you get a chance to be involved in our quarterly webinars, which we're having one right after this, where we do Q&A with the people who have already signed on. So we call it sort of our little club. You'd be in our little club where where I can answer your questions, and a little special bunch of people that get a chance to be with me to talk about their situation on a quarterly basis. So please consider this. I have yet to have anybody come back, 700 people, and go, that wasn't worth the money. Trust me. People say they love it, and they usually tell 3-4 friends, and then that's how I do more. Okay. So that's the proof is in that, the fact that most people are telling their friends this is sure worth the money. So I hope you're going to sign up soon. Sign up information is on the page you signed up. It'll also be in the thank you note. It'll also be in the replay note too. So, okay, cool. Here we go. Questions. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so Steve asked the question, is posting a link to my blog with the header adequate, or do I need to purposefully post only to LinkedIn? So Steve, I think it's a both. My answer would be I would post it on LinkedIn, maybe the full article. Maybe I would write an article. It's called writing an article on LinkedIn. So you can actually, instead of just sharing a link, you can write an article. You might want to do that, but do this, Steve. Be sure, reshare, repost that article. Do not think that one time around, regardless of which technique, I'd say do all these techniques. Share it again and again and again. Not every day for 5 straight days, but if you got a really good article, there's no problem with posting or sharing that. Let's call it reposting or resharing once a week. Now, I would always change my comment above the article to sort of set the pace that it's not exactly the same thing, but then the result is going to be the article, okay? So I'm glad you're writing. I'm glad you're posting, but I do all of those, and don't forget to repost and reshare. Okay, next question is, what do you recommend for connecting with someone I don't know? They are a high-quality individual, but I don't know them. Okay, so the idea is, I'm glad you said connecting. That's what I want you to do. My recommendation is to send a connection request. But there's several techniques you can have on how you connect. But here's what I want you to think about. Always, 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 always. Did I say always? Yeah. Always send a message with an invitation to somebody you don't know, but you want to know. You get 300 characters. You write it well. But in that 300 character message, you have to tell them what the connecting point is. What that means is, do you have a common friend that you've already cleared through your friend that they would be a good person for you to talk to, so you can mention that friend's name? Did you go to the same school? Did you used to work at the same place? You look for these sort of the sticky connecting points when you put something in that 300 connection invitation note, okay? Because you got to give them a reason to keep reading, and then ultimately say you'd like to have a chat to talk about how you could help them. And then you close up that invitation with something like, I'd be honored to have you join my LinkedIn network. Use those 300 characters very purposefully. Use them all. And then when they connect, if you've done that right, then they'll usually connect with you. And then you'll send a nice thank you note with a little more information about how you want to get together, or maybe an article that you wrote, or a document that would be helpful to them in their business, or a video, invite them to an event or something like that. So here, the bottom line is this. You got to add value. So if you're going to connect with somebody you don't know, they better see why it would be of value to have you in their network. Okay. And without that, then it's like, well, I don't know. Why is this person you got to tell them why they want to be in the network and how you can help them. Okay. That's a good one though. Really good. Okay. So Ward asked the question, is it possible to learn who has accessed your LinkedIn page without purchasing a premium? So I assume by access your page, Ward, you meant to who's viewed your profile. So who's viewed your profile works this way. If you're on free LinkedIn and you have the right setting on free LinkedIn, you can see the last 5 people that looked at your profile, but you still only get to see the information that LinkedIn wanted you to see about them. If you don't have that setting right, then you're not seeing anybody. Okay, so you got to go back in your own settings and turn it on to full disclosure. When you look at profiles, then you see your 5 people. It's a little confusing because there's sort of like a penalty. If you want to be anonymous, then you can't see who's looking at your profile, but you should get to see 5 Ward. If that's not happening, your setting's wrong. Okay, Paul, how do I sort the connections of someone I'm connected to? Can I see a list of their connections? Sure, Paul. So that the tool you use for that is in your filters, your search filters, and it's called connections of. Connections, using the connections of feature, putting your friend's name in there or your connection's name in there, clicking it on, and then using all the rest of the filters, you can then filter them by the filters that you've added. Okay. Then we're going to close up with Bill's question. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to email me on LinkedIn or send me a connection request. I'd love to be connected to everybody on this call. Please do. Send me a connection request. Practice writing your note. How about that? Practice write. Oh, Wayne, you were really good. I really loved it. And now I want to connect with you. That'd be great. I'd love that. And in that connection request, you can put if you got room, put your question, or after I connect, then send me the question. I'd love that. I love your questions. They don't have to be just here on the broadcast. I want to be part of your network so you can ask me questions all the time. But Bill's question is this: what's the benefits of a premium subscription? Okay, so here's the deal, Bill. Most of the best features on LinkedIn on free. LinkedIn packages into, you can have more of those things. That's really what it boils down to. In general, if somebody said, what's the benefit? Like you said, it's because you can do more of the very best things, like who's viewed your profile, you get to see more than 5 people. Searches, you get to do all the searches you want any time during the month. Now, by the way, that does not apply to the $30 a month subscription called Career. You have to move up to something more expensive than that to avoid that issue. But it boils down to this, Bill. If you see one of the pages that LinkedIn pops up that says, you want to subscribe, you got to move to premium, that means you're using a feature enough that LinkedIn is reminding you that you're going to run out of that feature because they're limiting the number. And that's really what it boils down to. Free features that people love, LinkedIn packages into the various subscription packages and allows you to do a lot more of the things that you love and hopefully that are working for you. Those were great questions. I loved every one of them. I'm sorry we got to run out of time because we have our follow-up for all the Patina Nation people coming up here in just a few minutes that we have to just get prepared for. And I'd love you to be a part of that by going on and signing up for a consultation. But thanks for your time today. And just a reminder, what we do during those consultations is, these are the bullet points that when I think about every consultation I do, I try to get to these things that I'm going to show you how to do, but always framed around your own situation. So if you're having trouble with any of these or some of the mistakes I mentioned today, boy, I think that you'll find that $250 will pay for itself multiple times over the amount that you're paying me. So I look forward to that. Any closing remarks, Jesse?
No, you will receive a post-event survey in your inbox within about 15-20 minutes. And then we will be sharing a replay of this webinar with you all sometime next week. And that email will include the worksheets that Wayne discussed during today's webinar, and also links to sign up for his optimization strategy review. So I encourage you all to sign up for that. Wayne and I have gone through my LinkedIn profile and I found that incredibly helpful. So I really do encourage you all to sign up for that. And that's all we have for you today. And thank you so much for joining us.
This has been a presentation of the Patina Nation. To watch more content like this or for more information, please visit us online at www.patinanation.com.